Hi kids, I'm Storytime Pup, and welcome to the Storytime Pup Show. I'm so glad you came by to play. I love when my friends come by to play, and you're one of my friends. Are you ready to have fun? Let's see what we're going to do today. Magic marker, show us what we're going to do today. Yay! It's storybook time! We love storybook time! Well, hi kids, and thanks for stopping by for today's book. Today's book is Jimmy and the Halloween Candy Monster, and it's written by Firesmith. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started with today's book. The Halloween Candy Monster. The Candy Monster sneaks into your room, silently seeking through the darkest gloom. He craves your candy for his midnight meal, so you must guard it well, or he will steal every single piece of candy that he can carry. I've warned you now, so you must be wary. Hide your candy well, so that you can keep all your candy safe while you are asleep. Jimmy woke up when his mother called his name, and he knew right away that the day had come. Jimmy was not fooled by the bright sunlight coming through his window. Jimmy was not fooled by the wonderful smell of pancakes coming from the kitchen. Halloween day had come, and it would be followed by Halloween night. And Halloween night was when the Candy Monster would creep into Jimmy's bedroom. Each year, Jimmy would put on his Halloween costume and walk from house to house. Each year, Jimmy would say, "Trick or treat," and walk home when his candy bag was full. And each year, while he slept, the Candy Monster would come. When Jimmy woke up and looked into his candy bag, most of his candy would be gone. Jimmy would tell his mother, but she would only say, "Mean old Candy Monster," and kiss him on the forehead. Jimmy would tell his father, but his father would only say, "Mean old Candy Monster," and his father would give him a hug. Jimmy would even tell Sparky, but Sparky would only wag his tail and lick his face. Jimmy tried hiding his bag of candy under his bed, but the Candy Monster found it and stole most of his candy. Jimmy tried hiding his bag of candy in his closet, but the Candy Monster found it and stole most of his candy. Jimmy even tried hiding his bag of candy under his covers while he slept, but the Candy Monster found it and stole most of his candy. But this Halloween would be different, because Jimmy had a very good idea. Jimmy would give his bag of candy to his mother and father. This year, Jimmy would ask his mother and father to stop the Candy Monster from taking his candy. No Candy Monster would get past his mother and father. Halloween day became Halloween evening. Jimmy put on his Halloween costume and walked from house to house. Jimmy said, "Trick or treat," and walked home when his candy bag was full. When Jimmy got home, he gave his mother and father his bag of candy to keep it safe from the Candy Monster. Jimmy's mother smiled and gave him a kiss on his forehead. Jimmy's father smiled and gave him a hug. Jimmy's dog Sparky wagged his tail and licked his face. And Jimmy went to bed, knowing His candy was safe. Jimmy woke up very early the next morning. Jimmy went into his parents' bedroom. Jimmy was very quiet because his mother and father were still asleep. Jimmy searched and searched for his bag of candy. His bag of candy was not under their bed. It was not in their closet. Jimmy found it hidden in his mother's nightstand. When Jimmy looked inside his bag of candy, most of his candy was gone. Jimmy was very upset and very angry at the candy monster. Jimmy climbed up on his mother and father's bed. Jimmy woke his mother and father. Jimmy said, "The candy monster stole most of my candy." Jimmy's mother said, "Don't be upset. We will get your candy back from the candy monster." Then Jimmy's mother smiled and gave him a hug and a kiss on his forehead. And Jimmy's father also smiled and gave him a hug and a kiss on his forehead. Jimmy's mother said, "The candy monster does not eat all the candy he takes. That much candy would make even the candy monster sick. Instead, the candy monster keeps the candy in the cave where he lives." Every night, your father and I will sneak into his cave and take back a few pieces of candy. And the next day, we will give those pieces of candy to you. And we will do that every night and every day until you have all of your candy back. Jimmy nodded and was not upset and angry anymore. Jimmy liked the idea of stealing his candy back from the candy monster. Jimmy liked the idea of doing it not just one night, but night after night. That will teach the greedy old candy monster a lesson. The end. So what did you think about today's book? I just love Halloween, and I love this story about the candy monster. What do you like to dress up for on Halloween? Make sure you watch out for that candy monster. I want to say a great big thank you to Donald Firesmith for this great book about Jimmy and the Halloween candy monster.